Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Professor B. Davis. Welcome to this edition, another edition of 49ers Postgame Live, the NFC Divisional Playoff Report on Niners Radio. Here behind me at the wonderful, behind here at the Hyatt Regency Hotel here in Santa Clara, right across the street from Levis Stadium. Our postgame live here on Niners Radio. If you want to come on by, check us out. You're welcome to check me out and it's the website is at youtube.com. It's youtube.com and it's /Niners Radio 49. And then that's the link for the share for everybody. And then if you want to reach me on my Twitter, will be Brian Davis. Brian Davis at Niners Radio 49. So come on by. We're going to be here for a bit. We'll give you a recap of this game. Niners are going to be advancing to the NFC Championship game for the third time in the last 4 years. The Niners will be going to the NFC Championship game. And more importantly, for the San Francisco 49ers, they're in the NFC title game for the third time in the last 4 years. And more importantly, they have now appeared in the NFC Championship, have played in the NFC Championship game 70, 71, 81, 83, 84, 88, 89, 90, 92. That's 92, 93, 94, 97, 11, 12, 13, 13, 13, 19, 21, and 22. It's the 18th time, by the way, the Niners will be in the NFC Championship game. This is the 18th time. That is for the 18th time since the merger. They have played in more conference championship games than any team since the merger by any team in the NFC since the 1970 league merger. Only the Pittsburgh Steelers have played in more conference championships than any team in pro football since the NFL-AFL merger. So the Niners defense, they bend, but they don't break. I'd also like to have all of you watching live on Facebook, on our Facebook stream, catching us on Niners Radio. We're going to get you the links out there. We'll recap the game. As we will recap the game, as a lot more Niner fans coming in. A lot of you guys are watching it on Facebook Live. Well, our friends from City Bowl joining us and on Niners Radio, Facebook.com/Niners Radio 49. That we're just continuing to let this podcast grow and continue to have some great success. And one thing is for sure, we will have one more, be back next week we'll be on location in the city in San Francisco for Niners Radio. But we're going to recap this game. A lot of 49er fans coming in on Niners Radio. We will recap the game, your thoughts for tonight's game. Niners and taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, who were winners last night with their convincing 38-7 win over their NFC East rival, the New York Giants, in the divisional playoff. So now it comes down to just the NFC Championship, as the Niners are now just one victory away from the Super Bowl. They're trying to get back there for the second time in the last 4 years. The Eagles trying to get back there for the first time in 5 years. Later this week coming, and we'll get you all the slate of what's coming up this week. The Niners, for the 18th time since 1970, will be playing in the NFC Championship with a trip to the Super Bowl. Niners defense coming through tonight, and they coming through under the pressure. They have responded all throughout the year. Why they have the number one defense. This will be another classic game. The Niners against the Eagles, the two best defenses in pro football. So, and Niner fans, if you want to come on, questions are very welcome. Like to come on and join into our podcast, you're very welcome to come on by. Let's talk a little Niner football. Your thoughts. And so it's busy here. We'll be here for a bit. This was the late window from Fox. Those of you coming in, watching the game on Fox or watching on the Niners or in the Bay Area, wherever you are in the Bay Area or wherever, if you're watching the game on Fox, wherever, if Niner fans, wherever you are, come on by and we'll talk a little Niners football post-game recap here on Niners Radio. So, and Brock Purdy becomes the first rookie quarterback, to lead his team to the NFC Championship since Mark Sanchez did it back with the Jets back in 2009. As the Niners not only are one win away from the Super Bowl, but making history as Brock Purdy trying to become the first rookie quarterback ever to lead his team to the Super Bowl as a starter. We will get back to the game. We will get back into the game in just a moment. Niners, with all the injuries they've gone through and so much, you're just getting one more closer towards the Super Bowl. And next week it's going to be a bigger challenge because you're going to be facing Jalen Hurts, who could be on his way to winning the league's most valuable player. And we So it just gets some more people to come on by. So we're just getting more people who want to come on this special on this edition of 49ers postgame live on Niners Radio. We're going to get to all the highlights of tonight's game. We'll get you ready for the NFC Championship next Sunday, and we'll give you a quick scoreboard of the recap of the other divisional playoff and give you as we're down to the final four as for a trip with a berth to Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona, coming up in approximately 3 weeks from this Sunday. So, a lot of Niner fans here. You know, we're talking about the game. We're gonna get to the highlights right now. The highlights is presented by 49ers. Zenni. Zenni is the official eyewear of the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll just give you a recap on the scoring summary. A lot of you joining us live on Facebook.com, Satellite Digital Media. We're just getting trying to load up our the drive summary, and that's what we're trying to do. So we're going to get ready to give you the highlights right now. And we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. We're having some technical problems to read our score. Here we go. We're just giving it some time to load up that box score. Running a little bit slow. So we'll give you to the scoring summary. And we just have not been able to get that yet. So we're going to just take a look at the scoreboard right here. So in the first quarter, Robbie Gould hit a 26-yard field goal that made 3-0 favor the 49ers. Then Dak Prescott passed hooked up with Darren Schultz for a 4-yard touchdown that made it. But the extra point was blocked. It was 6-3 Dallas. And then Robbie Gould hit a 47-yard field goal. The game was tied at 6-6. Then Robbie Gould hit a 50-yard field goal that made it 9-6 as time expired at the intermission. Then Brett Mayer hit a 25-yard field goal to tie the game at 9-9. But then Christian McCaffrey had that 2-yard touchdown run that made it 16-9. Then Brett Mayer hit a 43-yard field goal. It was 16-12. And then Robbie Gould hit a 28-yard field goal and made it 19-12. And looking at the game stats, 21 first downs for the 49ers, 15 for the Cowboys. Niners was 7-14 on third down efficiency. Dallas was 5 of 15. Fourth down efficiency, the Niners did not convert. The Cowboys were 2 for 2. Total net yards, Niners 312 yards to the Cowboys 282. Passing yards, 206 for Dallas, 199 for San Francisco. Rushing yards, the Niners were 113 rushing yards. Dallas was only 76. The big loss was losing Pollard with that high ankle sprain. He did not return to the ball game. And then completions attempts, Cowboys were 23 out of 37. Niners were 19 out of 29. Total rush, the Niners rushed 32 times. Dallas 22. The Niners had 1 turnover. The Cowboys had 2. And then time of possession, Niners 32 minutes, 53 seconds. Cowboys 27 minutes and 0 seconds. So let's look at the individual stats right now. As we take a look at the stats, Brock Purdy was 19 of 29, 214 yards. He threw no touchdowns, no interceptions. Christian McCaffrey, 10 carries for 35 yards. George Kittle, the star of the game, 5 receptions for 95 yards. For McCaffrey, from Kittle, he had 95 yards on 5 catches, averaged 19 yards per catch. And then Dak Prescott, 23 out of 37, 206 yards, a touchdown through 2 interceptions. Ezekiel Elliott, 10 carries for 26 yards. And then it was CeeDee Lamb had a big day, 10 catches for 117 yards as he averaged 11.7 yards per catch. Now look at the other stats for San Francisco. Elijah Mitchell had 14 carries for 51 yards, averaging 3.6 yards. McCaffrey had his touchdown. And then receiving, McCaffrey, he was targeted 8 times, 6 catches for 22 yards. So 6 of them, and he had 10. So McCaffrey had 35 and he had 57 total yards, McCaffrey. And on 18 touches, he averaged 3.16 yards per touch. Deebo Samuel had 11 carries for 11 yards, averaging 2.8. And Samuel was targeted 7 times for 4 receptions for 45 yards. So Deebo we'll try to take a look at this one more time. Commissioner Deebo had 11 yards plus 56 total yards. And he had 15 touches. So he averaged 3.7 yards per catch. And then Brock Purdy, 3 carries for 8 yards. on the ground. He had 222 total yards, and Purdy ended up having 22 rushes, and he rushed for 8 yards. And then he also added all up. He Purdy had three, averaging Purdy averaged 10 yards on the ground per touch. And then Robbie Gold was solid gold. The Niners would not even been in this game or not probably be heading up without Robbie Gold. A perfect 4-for-4, a 50-yard field goal. He was 1-for-1 in his extra points. And Mitch Wisnowski punted 4 times, averaging 41 yards. His longest was 46, twice inside the 20-yard line range. And then the defense, Fred Warner had an interception. And then that's me. That's me. Gotcha. Yeah. And then looking at no problem. Yeah, that's my. Looking at it also in the Fred Warner had an interception, and also they picked off 2 big interceptions. Then Lenore also had an interception as well. Ray McLeod punted twice, averaged 8.5 yards. His longest was 13. He lost the fumble, which set up the Cowboys getting 3 points off that turnover by the 49ers. McLeod did make up. He had a kickoff return, average of his longest was 53 yards. On the special teams, he had 53 and plus. He had 66 total yards on special teams and with an average of 22 yards. So with the win, the 49ers will now advance to the NFC Championship. They'll take on the Philadelphia Eagles, who are winners over the New York Giants in their NFC Divisional Playoff on Saturday night. And for them, they'll play the 49ers. Next Sunday's game will be 1 week from today. We'll be on location in the city. We don't know yet. We'll let you know during the week, sometime in the week. That kickoff time will be at 12 noon, at high noon, 12 noon Pacific. The game will be on Fox as Kevin Burkhardt, along with Greg Olson with the call. Aaron Andrews and Tom Rinaldi will handle the sideline duties. That game will be on Fox. And then let's just give you a recap of what happened in the earlier game on Sunday. It was the defending AFC champion Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, all over the Bills. They end up coming up winning by a score of 27-10 in Buffalo, snowy conditions in Buffalo, as the Bengals will be back in the AFC Championship game for the second straight year, and for the fourth time in their franchise history. A reminder: the Bengals have never lost the AFC Championship game. And in that game, Joe Burrow threw for 2 touchdown passes. Josh Allen, he threw for 265 yards. And Joe Mixon, 20 carries, 105 yards. Jamar Chase, 5 receptions for 61 yards. So it's all set up for next Sunday, Championship Sunday. It will be the Bengals and the Chiefs rematch of last year's AFC Championship. That will be the late game on CBS. Paramount Plus. Niners and the Eagles will be the first game. That will be a 10 or will be a 12 noon Pacific our time, 3 o'clock Eastern on Fox with a berth with Super Bowl 57 on the line. So we're now going to get ready to wrap it up. And before we go, we'd like to thank the staff from the Hyatt Regency Hotel here in Santa Clara throughout the entire year doing doing post-game show here on Niners Radio. We also like to thank all of you who've been watching all of our content with 49ers Tailgate on Niners Radio throughout the entire year. And we couldn't do it without you. And this is not the end. The Niners are just one victory away from the Super Bowl. Niners trying to get back, try to redeem themselves after that awful performance where they squandered the 20-10 lead to the Kansas City Chiefs 3 years ago, and lost a heartbreaker last year in the NFC title game to the then Super Bowl champion Rams, who Niners blew a 17-7 lead. So you got one more game before you can start punching that ticket to the desert. Niners Radio 49 will be there throughout this entire week. We'll have guests to try to get some of the media personalities from in Philadelphia on our podcast. And, it's going to be a great week coming up this week. So stay tuned to Niners Radio for more information. For now, here at the Hyatt Regency, once again, the final score, 49ers 19, Cowboys 12. Thank you for watching this edition of 49ers Postgame Live on Niners Radio 49. Niners Radio 49 is the exclusive presentation of part of the Satellite Digital Media News Network, where every team has a fan and every fan has a voice. The network home of champions. 49ers playoff football. Faithful then and faithful now. Go Niners!